let's switch a bit the topic now. I'm interested in your go-to-market and sales. So I understand that you don't have like a huge marketing budget. The way I actually found you is through LinkedIn because you and your co-founder are very active. I don't know if I can say building in public. I would say it personally, but I want to hear your thoughts on how important is it today to build in public, to get the inbounds, to get the exposure, especially if you are operating in a lean way like you are.
Yes, interesting point because I don't have any marketing experience at all. I'm not a marketing person, and I'm definitely not an influencer or content creator in that regard. Our marketing spend is almost non-existent. So we have a CMO as well that helps us in terms of like the direction we want to go in terms of how we are presenting ourselves. But as you also mentioned, what we're doing is very much going into the era now where a company seems very, if you have a company page and you're just generating content and putting it out there with the face of your company logo, etc., it seems very distant. And that's how you've been doing it for a long time. It's a brand, you recognize the logo, and that's kind of the thing that you're recognizing. Where now, especially in the startup scene, what's worked for us is that, all right, we have a nice logo. We know that, but you want to see the people behind. Who are the people that are building the product that I'm using? And if you become recognized in that term, it creates a layer of trust as well. And honestly, it's not just a growth hack that we're doing. It's part of the journey, you know. We want to share this being founders and also sharing the ups and downs in a way, because honestly, it's not like everything is set in stone. There's a lot of surprises. There's a lot of learnings. There's a lot of things that go wrong, but being able to share that journey also creates a good story for the users that finally meet us. And it's working because, as you say, LinkedIn has actually worked really, really well for getting inbound leads. So in a market like this, getting the foot inside, cold outreaches don't get you long. But if you have a brand where you're basically shoving it in their face, we're doing this, and then they come to you, it has worked tremendously well for our business model.
We have seen this shift in the last few years where, it was important only for consumer companies to connect, let's say, with their clients. But now it's really a must also for B2B, especially with LinkedIn. So I guess this is how you found your first customers and listings. Has it evolved since then? So do you do some actual active outbound, or is everything that is coming to you?
So in the beginning, this talks into the startup journey. We had ideas of how this would go. All right, we're a Nordic company. We know that what we want to do is be global because the secondary market is global. That's where the activity is. So we thought, all right, we'll start in the Nordics. We'll start in Denmark. We'll start with angel investors, more private segment, kind of get them on the platform because it's at that point it's free. You get access to the market. You can find a nice, good listings. So we had to actively also go out with our friends and family, of course, to test out the platform. And then luckily, because all four founders, we have backgrounds in private and public markets. So we also have a network coming from VC. So that helped us a lot as well to be connected on the small scene. But still, it wasn't quite the mode for what we wanted to do because the ticket size that are interesting for us are much larger. Then it became interesting because we thought, okay, start in Denmark, then we go into the Nordics, then Europe, and then as soon as possible after we want to go to US and Asia. But what happened was that we got the initial users in the Nordics. We started this LinkedIn content generation. And because we went into such a niche segment like secondaries, the algorithm picked it up that everyone that saw it were people dealing with secondaries, which is a niche, which suddenly was global, which suddenly was institutional asset managers within this space. And from then, it just took off. And so it has really rewarded us a lot in that regard. And that's also why we now cater much more to the institutional segment within the private market secondaries, because we got them in and those became our target clients. And from then on, it's just been a self-growing mechanism because you get more institutional, you get more exposure and the way through.
Full disclosure, you have given me the green light. So let's see. I want to understand how the business makes money. So is it per transaction? Is it access to the platform? How are you structuring, your cash flow?
Our model is, this was also a struggle in the beginning because this was one of the tough questions that we had to find out, because the market that we were in is a lot of independent brokers where you have buyers and sellers and everyone kind of gatekeeping and saying, oh, I know someone who knows a buyer for your position. And then, but I'm not going to tell you who I know before I get 2%. And then the next guy that I introduced to wants 2% as well. And then they have the seller, and then it goes through a lot of
Yeah,
layers.
everyone
So
is taking their piece.
they
Yes.
are. And that's exactly why this market needs disruption and some infrastructure, because they are being, the reason this is possible is because the market is so fragmented that you can be this opportunistic. That's what we're kind of changing. So we went out with a completely free version of the platform, and it's still free to sign up and use. We have both a public, which where you're still fully anonymized on both ends, but we have a public version of the platform where you can go in and find listings and find buyers. But we also have the dark pool, which is really catered to the institutionals, where we have these really large ticket sizes. So coming back to how we make money, the platform is free to use. You can use it for scouting, for sourcing, for also for getting help in this space, because we build a lot of also industry first AI tools for due diligence, such as uh, so we have AI driven waterfall simulation models for checking the share class hierarchies, because there's complexities involved in secondaries, and for AI deep research agents for market reports, etc. All of this is free. We
Okay.
make money by taking a incredibly uh, incredibly competitive transaction called unsuccessful transactions. And this was
Okay.
also one of our motivations, that the platforms we used back when we were in VC, it
Yeah.
was opaque and it was incredibly high transaction fees, which were only possible because it was so fragmented.